Hey, my peeps. What's going on? It's Janessa. It's Monday, and we are diving in tonight about your brand story. So, how was everyone's weekend? Hopefully it was good. Mine was okay. Lots of stuff going on, which is good. Just trying to share this into the group. I don't know why Facebook makes these things so difficult sometimes. I just want to share it. Let me just do that real quick, I guess, for my phone, because you know how that is. All right, where am I sharing this? Sharing in a group. So if you're here, hi. Tell me how your weekend was while I'm sharing this this video into the group. I see somebody's on. Who's watching me? Tell me. All right. Okay. Now that that's done, we'll dive right in. 2 minutes of me sharing Facebook silliness. All right. So tonight we're going to talk about your brand story, why it's important, what it is, and how it's going to help your business. So your brand story is the narrative that you share that encompasses the facts and the feelings that are created by your brand. It has to evoke emotion and connect your audience to you, because this is what gives your brand a soul. Your brand really is like this living, breathing thing. So your story communicates your mission. It gets you visibility, it gets you recognition, and those things help you expand your message into the world. And if you're on the internet already, if you're a business or not, your brand exists and it's already creating a perception. So what you're putting out into the world or not putting out into the world is already shaping your story and your messaging. And that's what we're talking about all this month, is your messaging and your audience, growing your audience and getting leads and sales, because that's ultimately what we're here for, right? We're here to impact people, give them value, and also create a life that we love while we're doing it. And that's not selfish. I just want to make sure that everyone understands that wanting more from your life is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Your first mission should be to help the people that you want to help, but you're doing, there are lots of reasons why you're doing what you're doing. And I'm sure one of them is to create a better life for you, for your family. And that's totally okay. So I want you to ask yourself, do you want to have zero control over what people perceive about your brand, or do you want to be able to influence people about how they feel about you in a way that actually reflects your truth? I know for me, and I'm sure for you too, that's what you want, right? You want people to understand you and your brand and your business in a truthful way, because that's what's going to connect you to them. Your brand story should have the following framework. And some of this we've talked about, some of this we may not have talked about. Your vision. So why do you do what you do? I know we've talked about your vision before, but your vision is not, I want to sell my widgets. I want to, coach people. I want to, whatever it is your business does, whatever problem it solves, that is not your vision. Your vision is expanded. Like, look into the future when you're thinking about your vision. Really, what kind of impact on the world do you want to have from your business or from yourself? That is your vision. It's a big picture of the impact and value that you want to bring to the world. And then your values. So what are the core values of your brand? What are the values that are driving the vision that you have? And then the credibility. So how do you back up your values? These three things are super important, and we go really, really deep into these things in Branding Bootcamp, because this is you have to pull this out of yourself. Like, this is not, at least for me, it was not something that I could didn't just flow out of me. It was something that I had to look inside myself to find. Because when we start businesses, I think, one of our main drivers is revenue, to change our lives, to make the revenue to level up our life. And that's awesome. We're not starting a business to be in the poorhouse, right? We're starting businesses so that we can make money. And we also want to be able to impact people. We don't sell our widgets. We sell the transformation that they're going to get, your customers are going to get when they purchase it, or after they work with you, or whatever it is that your business is providing. You're selling the emotion, you're selling the transformation, you're selling their end game. So how does your brand story lead them to believe, or lead them to know, that you are the right person for the job? So, what is this going to get you? When you figure, like, for you, what is it going to get you when you figure out what your brand message is? What should the results be? Because all of these things, your brand message, your messaging, your brand, like, I get that I'm kind of saying a lot of these things in different ways. Some people might not connect with something one way, but they do connect with it another way. So if I sound like I'm repeating myself, I am, but I'm not in the same fashion. So what will your brand messaging get you? It's going to get you, it's a really huge part of what's going to attract your ideal clients. The other part of what's going to attract your ideal clients is you. The value you bring, the energy, and the authenticity that you're bringing to the table. You are going to resonate with your ideal clients on a level that nobody else can. Your brand story is also going to grow your revenue. It's going to grow your audience, and it's going to bring in the leads, and it's going to bring in the sales. The other important thing to understand about sales is, if you're branding correctly, if you're showing up for your audience, if you're doing the dang thing, and you're here and you're showing up and you're providing value and you're consistent, technically, you don't really have to sell anything. You're doing it every single day. You have to put that call to action at the end of whatever it is, your post, your blog, your podcast, whatever it is. But your sales, I know a lot of people have an issue with sales. They're like, oh, it feels gross to like sell something to somebody. A couple things there. One, it's a story you're telling yourself that it feels icky to sell anything, because you can't sell anything. You can't have a business without selling something. So if you don't like to sell, make whatever it is that you're doing a hobby, because your business needs revenue. It needs income to grow. It needs income to stay stable, and then it needs income to grow. And you come and you show all these people, you post every day, you podcast, you blog, you get out and you network and you talk to people. That's like 90% of your business is relationship building. That's what it is. First, they have to notice you, right? And your brand story, your messaging, all of those things are going to help them notice you, which raises your visibility, which also, who is looking? Who's looking? Sometimes we might not think anybody's looking, because that's how it feels sometimes, right? I know, because sometimes it does feel like that. You're like, what am I posting for? What am I doing all this for? Like, nobody's watching. They're watching. They are watching, trust me. When I thought nobody was watching, I would get, I would see somebody a couple days later and they'd be like, oh, hey, I love that, live you did, or that post that you did, or you're really, doing a great job at XYZ. And I'd be like, oh, somebody's watching. Yay. So people are watching, whether they're engaging or not, they're watching. So just keep going. Keep going. You've got this. Keep going. So if you have questions about brand messaging or brand story in this one, leave them below and I will answer any questions that you have. Tomorrow night, so I usually don't go live on Tuesdays, but tomorrow night I have a special guest, Allie McCauley. She's from Do Well Websites, and she's going to come on and talk to you about how you can build a standout brand and website even if you don't have it in your budget. Because I know a lot of people, especially entrepreneurs that are just starting out, we do have to, pay attention to where our money goes. And that's okay too. We want to be responsible with our money. So if you don't have the funds right now to hire a professional designer, a copywriter, a developer, or to hire somebody for one-on-one custom services, Allie is going to talk to us about how you can do it yourself. Pretty awesome, right? So I know that when I started, it was like Google, YouTube. I think I spent hours and hours and hours looking at things, just trying to figure out one little piece of my website, like how do I get it to do this, or how do I get it to do that? What the hell do I put on an about page? What am I saying, right? So I'm teaming up with Allie tomorrow night to bring you that, and that's going to be really exciting. She's going to take the guesswork out of the tech, and I'm really excited to have her on. So make sure you tune in tomorrow at 5 o'clock, and Allie and I will be here. And I've got a lot going on this week. I think you guys are going to see my face a lot this week. So we've got the Think Like an Entrepreneur Challenge coming up Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Lots of stuff. So keep your eye out. Remember, work on your brand messaging. If you need help, put it in the comments. If you have questions, put them in the comments. And if you're watching the replay, please let me know you watched the replay, #replay, so that I know you were here and that you were watching. All right, guys, have a great night. I will see you tomorrow, 5 o'clock.